Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic. What is the creepiest thing you've seen in the woods, or in the mountains, or in deserts, or caves, or in small towns, or in remote or rural areas, or while on large bodies of water, or while on an aircraft or a nautical vessel? This took place in the Australian bush around 10:11 at night. I was 17, leading a staggered column of about 60 cadets to our detachment campsite. Due to light discipline rules, only myself at the very front of the group and the other flight commander at the rear had torches on. This was so that any vehicles coming along the trail could see us and so that most of the cadets could maintain their night vision. We were camouflaged up and thus difficult to see at night. As we walked along, I periodically looked to my sides, and kept seeing what looked like dewdrops on the ground. Almost like tiny blue gems glinting in my torchlight either side of the road. I had to maintain my position in the formation, so I couldn't get a good look at what they were. However, after a while we stopped for a very brief break, and I took the opportunity to have a closer look. Walking over to the side of the trail, I spotted a small cluster of the diamonds and focused my head torch on them. Rather than seeing diamonds or dewdrops or anything remotely pleasant, I instead saw a group of about 5 large spiders just crouching in the leaf litter and staring at me. They looked like huntsmen, which are about the size of an adult's hand. Sweeping my head around, I realized there were thousands of the things. All over the ground, some on the trunks of trees, and everywhere around me, glaring at the light affixed to my head. I had a very brisk walk back to the formation and attempted to play it cool while screaming in my head. Being a massive arachnophobe, I have no fucking clue how I managed to set up a tent and spend the next week in that cursed forest. As someone from a foreign army who will be coming over to Australia later this year for 3-week training exercise outfield, I really regret reading this. Edit, obligatory. Holy shit, so many upvotes and my first silver. Thanks. If it's any consolation, the huntsman spiders are harmless to humans and prey on the spiders that actually can cause harm to humans. The safest you will be from spiders in Australia is with a huntsman chilling with you. Think of them like 8-legged bodyguards. Posted about this before, but back when I was a kid, some friends and I came across people in robes chanting around a campfire out in the woods on the edge of the town we lived in. We were staying at a friend's house for a birthday party / sleepover and went for a late night walk. This was back in the late 80s during the Satanic Panic. Looking back now, I'm sure it was just some teenagers goofing around, but at the time it scared the living bejesus out of us. One of the girls with us had a panic attack and started hyperventilating. Got pretty serious, but we finally managed to get her calmed down. Satanic Panic is a good band name. The band of Montreal has an album called Satanic Panic in the Attic and it's such an amazing album. Edit, hello fellow OM fan redditors. So nice to hear from you all. Panic. At the Satanic Ritual. I'd been at football training with a few of my cousins when I was about 10 years old. We decided to take a walk before our parents picked us up, so we went along the canal towpath. My cousin looked down in the canal and saw a really nice jacket floating along, and being a weird scavenger person decided to reach in to fish it out. Well, the jacket turned over. And so did the man wearing it. He also had no face left. Not gonna lie, that was rough. That must have been terrifying. What did you do next? Ran back to the training complex and had an adult call the police. We acted surprisingly well, to be honest. It's 2 a.m. We're in a tent in the woods in Maine. I'm about 8. Mom, there's something creeping around outside the tent. MMMPH, you're dreaming, go back to bed. Mom, there really is something out there. No. There isn't. Just then, something whaps on the side of the tent, hard enough to shake the whole thing. And my mother, who is entirely too goddamn tired to deal with this shit, sits bolt upright and whaps right back in the same spot. And from outside the tent, we hear meow. Edit, it was a house cat. We didn't hear anything more the rest of the night. Your mom is metal. Moms are generally really fucking metal. Okay, so like a person saying meow, a house cat saying meow, or a cougar meowing. There are many potential interpretations here. Edit, apparently cougars, the animal, don't meow, and aren't found in Maine. So that eliminates one possibility. Edit 2, I had about a dozen people message me that cougars don't meow and aren't in Maine, but a dozen others since then correcting the edit with videos and such. I stand by my original query. I'm picturing a super deep voice just matter-of-factly saying meow. And fully pronouncing the syllables. Not sure how creepy this is, but I was on a week-long camping trip with some friends and I woke up with a weasel sitting on my chest looking at me. I never knew I could scream that loud. Was it cute though? And were you in a tent or what? I was in one of those semi-permanent canvas tents with a wood base. And it was very cute, especially with the 4 or 5 others that were running away with it when I looked outside. I found a woman's body floating in a harbor in San Pedro, CA. I know a guy who was out boating and found a body in the water. The police told him to send a picture to the Coast Guard. He used the number he thought they gave and got a text back going, "What the hell is that?" Needless to say, he had not texted the Coast Guard. Edit, hot damn, anon. Thanks for the gold. Edit, apparently thanking people for gold is not actually something you're supposed to do. I thought it was like a courtesy thing. Guess not. Lol, wrong number, sorry app the dead person you saw. I don't know who I feel worse for. The person who discovered the body or the person who got the text. Oh wait, there is also a dead guy in this scenario. Felt like running at night last year because the park near where I live gets all pretty with the lights on in the dark. So after 5 minutes into the exercise, I feel the need to adjust my shoes because I forgot to wear a longer sock and they were hurting my ankle. I look up and I see this dark silhouette running towards me at full speed wearing a hoodie about 50 meters away. I was on the left side of the street and he was on the right, so it was clear he was running towards me. I legit almost shitted my pants and felt an adrenaline surge. I thought about fighting him if he got any closer, but in a blink of an eye, the person trips, falls face planted on the ground and starts crawling in my fucking direction again. Fuck that, dude is committed, I'm leaving. Edit, some people mentioned the scene from Get Out. It was exactly like that, but he fell halfway through. I have a similar story. I was doing a paper route and a guy in a wheelchair appears out of nowhere at 3 a.m., just racing towards my car. We encountered him again about a week later. He did the same thing. Just hightailed it towards my car in his wheelchair, murder in his eyes. This took place like 2 streets over from our house. We floored it out of there, and quit the paper route. Never seen him again. Speaking of wheelchairs, in my hometown there is this lad who had a car accident 12 to 15 years ago, lost his ability to walk and over the time his sanity. Now he wanders around the town in his wheelchair every night, no matter the weather or how unsafe it may be. Pretty creepy to see. Imagine waiting all night to find some guy to kidnap just to trip and fall. Must have been an embarrassing walk back home. I was Boy Scout, camping with my group of older buddies and an adult leader in Yellowstone. We had been backpacking for 2 days and stopped in a beautiful little clearing at the bottom of some huge tree-covered hills. The sun started to set, we made a fire, and I began to climb up into the trees to dig a hole and fill it back up. You know what I mean. As I squat there, basking in moonlight and appreciating the glow of fire among the trees, I looked up to a ridgeline a few hundred yards away where the moon was rising, and I shit you not, I saw a damn big cougar crest the hill and just watch our fire. It was likely no danger to me, but seeing that outline, that unmistakable shoulder crawl they do, was haunting. I watched it sit there for a good 15 minutes until I was called back by my worried buds. I pointed the cat out to them when I got done because it was still just watching us. Crazy. So did you bang her or what? I've not seen this one. It wasn't his step cougar, so he wasn't turned on enough to go through with it. My girlfriend and I were hiking along some abandoned railroad tracks and we get to a small bridge going over a little creek. I'm about to go explore under the bridge when she points something out. I look over and in the woods across from us I see a guy. I'm like whatever and keep headed down to the creek area, and then the guy stands up and he's naked. We immediate backtrack pretty quickly to get away from there, and once we're like 1 minute down the trail I look back and this naked dude is just standing in the middle of the trail watching us walk away. I cannot adequately explain how much this bothers me while also giving me about 100 different questions. Do you think he would have advanced on you if you hadn't moved? Did he look malicious or just plain insane? Man, good thing there were 2 of you. Naked people out in the middle of the woods probably don't give a fuck about much. Just the fact that he followed us up to the trail as we were leaving made me think he might have advanced on us if we were closer. It was all around just bizarre. He mostly looked crazy, had really disheveled hair and a large messy beard which just really brought the whole look together. Can't someone even poop in peace in the middle of nowhere? walking on the beach with my boyfriend, and we had walked to a giant rocky cliff to maki out. Somebody was just gazing at the ocean, crying and shaking. Mind you, this is late at night, like around 9:30 p.m. We asked him if he was okay. He apologized and practically ran back down the cliff, away from the dangerous areas. My boyfriend and I watched him until he reached the public area and decided to call it a night. I'm pretty sure he was going to jump. You just might have saved that dude's life that night.